Right now, it's time for the people of the nation to work together and come together and make this a better place for us. So before we get started, I want to do a shout out to my friend Thomas Tobias in Macomb, Mississippi, praying that you are feeling better today. What about you, Charles?
Shout out to Wilder Watson, Charles Jr., my sister in Atlanta, Georgia, and to all the family and the listening audience to Church Without Wall. God bless you all.
Yeah, Sister BJ says she'll be walking her kids, but she'll be listening. Sister Robinson had some issues dealing with the family, so she's going to try and return to us on next week. We're so happy today. We have a special guest with us, Mr. Timothy Garrett. He's a fitness trainer, and he's been in fitness for over 34 years. I met Mr. Garrett some years ago dealing with Jefferson Cops and Clergy. I was so impressed with his titles. He holds 17 titles. I think that's a thing that really got to me. Is one thing to be in fitness training, but I think there's another thing to hold titles. And with me, it was this bodybuilding thing, and nobody seemed to understand that I looked at it as having a lot of discipline, being that our families seem to go through so much health issues and things in the family, the church, obesity in the community. And the other thing, he's also the CEO of Mobile Muscle and Result Supplements. So, Mr. Garrett, we're so happy to have you in our midst. We have his product here. And before we got on the air, our producer, Tarek, said he's going to make sure, Charles, you and I try his product right on the air. So, Mr. Garrett, we're so happy to have you with us. Let's talk about this a little bit before we get into our topic of today.
Well, good morning, Pastor Dunn. Thank you for having me, and also Mr. Charles. It's truly a pleasure to be here, be present on the show this morning, especially talking in things that affect our communities. And for me to be in fitness amount of years, that was my whole thing about making sure that I got the word out to our communities, what was taking place for as our nutrition and the things that we are putting in our bodies do affect you. Not only affect you physically, but it affects you emotionally, mentally, spiritually as well. Because a strong body equals a strong mind and spirit. And see, we sometimes we try to equate and keep them separate, but they are all one entity, and we need to do that. And it's so ironic how I got started into fitness years ago when I was coming up. I was a very athletic person, but never really about the weight training or anything like that. But I was always fascinated about muscles. You know, when my father would come home from a hard day's work, I would always ask him to make a bicep for me, and so that's the thing that kind of excited me about the muscles and the weight training and the bodybuilding. So one day, I guess I was probably about 6 or 7 years old, decided to say, you know what, I want to bodybuild. That's what I want to do, and a lot of folks just kind of thought I was kind of crazy, saying that at such a young age. And through the process of learning how to exercise and use weights and different things of that nature, and as time went on, I never thought I would actually get to this point where I would actually own my own supplements, and bringing it to the market, because it was just more or less about getting big, because I was a very small man in size and stature, because my father was a small man. And growing up, I picked on a lot, but that really wasn't the thing that motivated me. It was just the idea that a man could physically change his body and look a different way. So that was the thing that just motivated me about the exercise. So that's how I got started with that. And like I say, as time went on, about sharing with people about how important exercise was and eating right. Because, like I say, for us as African Americans, we are leading all the major health categories. And to me, that is insane, you know, that we should not be taking our health a little bit more serious.
I remember when we first brought you out, and there were a lot of young kids that was out exercising on that day. They were so enthused. They were asking all kind of questions. They wanted to see you flex muscles and things of that nature. One thing that I've come to realize, even with myself, is that I was in much better shape as far as my health. When I would go back to the doctors, my reports were better
Hmm.
when I was taking your supplements and also exercising.
Yes.
But then when I stopped, I started doing the show. Charles started tying up my Mondays, and I kind of stopped, got away from it. I went back to the doctor, and my numbers wasn't so good. So
Hmm.
I'm so happy that you on the show today to talk about this,
Yes.
because many of our black people, uh, we're just prone to things like
Hmm.
diabetes, and
Yes.
we don't have to. High blood pressure. I feel like, these are silent killers. I especially, being in the mission field, have seen what diabetes can do to a
Hmm.
person.
Yes.
I've seen people get amputated.
Hmm.
I have family members have lost their eyesight. I've seen their kidneys kick out. I've seen them go into congestive heart failure.
Yes.
So, if there is a natural supplement that will definitely help you
Hmm.
to curb some of these health issues, I feel in my heart we need to be aware of that. One thing that I need to ask you, that Terrence asked before we got on the show, can an NFL player take the supplement?
Yes. Any NFL player, I challenge you that you could go to my website. That is www.results, it's spelled REZULTZ.net. Order, or you could call me at area code 337-962-5459. I will bring you some free of charge so you could test it. You could take it to the NFL, have them test it, because the stuff has all been clinically tested. It's just herbs. There's nothing chemical based about it. It's all natural. And the inception of that, one day I was sitting at my computer, and I was just in my little spiritual moment thinking about things, and it brought me back to, Mr. Charles, when y'all were young and when you were growing up, your grandparents, and your parents, everything was grown out in the backyard. We didn't have
Mhm.
really a supermarket like a Walmart and things of that nature. And we shared because we bartered everything. If the gentleman down the street raised chickens and the other gentleman, he grew vegetation, and we would always swap and barter these things,
Right,
and it was more controlled.
right.
And so it wasn't no chemical base like we're doing. We are in a chemical based society. Sad as it is, yes, everything is about chemicals. So yes, the products are all clean and natural. Like I said, they have been clinically tested, and the NFL player and anybody out there can take this. And the great thing about it, if you are currently taking medication, something for your high blood pressure or even diabetes, you can use my supplements right along with it.
Okay, well, hold that thought a minute. You're listening to the New Orleans Talk Network, a Church Without Walls foundation, hosted by Reverend D. Dunn and Charles Stewart. We're so happy to have Sharon with us, Mr. Timothy Garrett. He is a fitness trainer. He's also the CEO of Mobile Muscle and Results Supplements. We would like for you, if you would like to get in on the conversation, you can call 504 341 8255. I would also like to say that we're streaming live on Facebook. You can go to the New Orleans Talk Network, and you can stream us live on the Church Without Walls. So, for those of you all that want to see us stream live, you can go to the New Orleans Talk Network and stream live. We're about to go to a break, but we'll be back in a minute.
Listen up. Your customers Our listeners could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
Are you a member of Bedside Baptist? Well, now you can join Bethesda House of Prayer every Sunday for our live broadcast. It starts at approximately 9:45 every Sunday morning. Just go to NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com and click play. We can't wait for you to join us from your home. And don't forget, if you want to join us live and in person, service starts for 9 a.m. and we are located at 7601 West Lake Expressway, Marrero, Louisiana, 70072, Suite C.
This is Captain Black.
This is Brother Al Mims. Join us for our new show,
The Hostages That Fight Back. Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Central.
We are all hostages to something,
But it's up to us.
to find the courage to fight back and make the change.
So tune in to become the change you want to see in the world here on New Orleans Talk Network.
Brothers and sisters! Brothers and sisters! I don't know what this world is coming to.
What is New Orleans Talk Network? It's today's hottest topics with an added flair. You get ready because the conversation will be hot and better yet, mobile. Download the New Orleans Talk Network app available on Android, iPhone, iPad, and you can listen to us on the web at www.neworleanstalknetwork.com. Write down our talk line at 504-341-TALK. That's 504-341-8255. Interactive and worldwide. That's what we are. Join in on the real conversation and tell a friend about the New Orleans Talk Network.
What's up, New Orleans? Listen, this your man Fred, host of your #1 sports talk show down here in New Orleans. Yeah, I said it. FanView, where real fans talk about real sports. Join me, Bank Ball Recite, your people's man B, and Madman the Big Fan as we talk about all the latest sports topics going down here around the country. Again, FanView, where real fans talk about real sports.
Now New Orleans has a choice. Download the New Orleans Talk Network app for your mobile device or listen at www.neworleanstalknetwork.com.
We're back. You're listening to the New Orleans Talk Network, the Church Without Walls, hosted by Reverend D. Dunn and Charles Stewart. And we're so happy today that we have Mr. Timothy Garrett, a fitness trainer. He has 34 years of training experience, but I love it that he holds 17 titles. But dealing with a black man that's also the CEO of his own company, Mobile Muscles and Result Supplements. You know, one of the things, as we said before the results, that Charles and I was going to actually do the challenge and actually drink some of this
Mhm.
because I know we're supposed to be drinking water and things of that nature. And to me, if it's not flavored, I'm not going to drink it.
Yes.
So Charles and I decided that since we're streaming live,
Yeah.
that we were going to try Mr. Garrett's result supplements online. Thank you, Mr. Garrett.
Yes. And this is the all natural protein, a vegan protein. Like I say, it's not made with egg, milk, or soy, or anything of that nature. It's made from a brown rice. And normally, what I do with my clients, I have them use it in the morning to make a little smoothie, because you could actually put a little cup of berries with a little cup of ice. And I usually use water myself. Some of my clients like almond milk or coconut milk, which is fine
Love
to use
coconut
that.
milk, yes.
And take and blend it for a few seconds, and there you go. You actually have a smoothie, and you can use that as a breakfast meal. And normally, a lot of my clients love that because most Americans don't like breakfast for some strange reason. And it has been clinically known and tested that breakfast is the most important meal of the day because it jumpstarts your metabolism. That's why they call it breakfast. Your body is breaking a fast of 8 hours of sleeping without consuming a meal. Because the way the digestive system works is that when you in taking down food, your body is going through that process and is creating heat by causing your metabolism to work. And when your metabolism working, is automatically burning body fat, stored body fat. See, but what we're doing today with most of the products, they are made with saturated fats. And they do that so it can sit on the shelf longer. Like I said, when you were coming up, your grandparents, your parents, they went to the market, the little corner market every day because stuff didn't last that long until refrigeration came in. And then they figured out how to do this process of adding saturated fats and sugars and salt to, sodium to make a product sit on the shelf for 2 and 3 months at a time. And see, so that's more chemical-based stuff that we're dealing with rather than dealing with natural stuff. And like I say, all I did was when I developed these products was to go back and think what we were doing when our grandparents were doing as far as all the herbal stuff that was grown in the backyard. If you had a toothache, grandma, big mama sent you in the backyard to go grab this. She might have balled it, stuck it upside your face, made you drink it. Next morning, you were back to normal.
Right.
And so that was the whole process of, when I started developing the products to go back to natural. Even when I was designing my company who actually mixes the products, the guy was like, "Oh man, you sure you don't want to put a stimulant in it?" I said, "No, stimulant for what?" I said the thing is to help people, not hurt them. And a lot of the products now are really causing people more harm than actually hurting them.
Oh, I can account for that. But one thing I'm glad that you said, and that is we can use it with almond milk.
Yeah.
Because lately I've been getting some smoothies, and I'm like, do you all have almond milk? I love almond milk.
Yes.
I also want to say this, is that we're also streaming live on Facebook, so you can go to the New Orleans Talk Network Facebook page, and you can see us live. The other thing I want to say is that Mr. Garrett has agreed that anyone that would like to have a free sample, they can also call him. Give him your number, Mr. Garrett.
Yes, that number is area code 337. The number is 962-5459. Then in about 2 weeks, you could go on the website and you could actually order your starter packet. And starter packet is going to be 6 packets of the protein and 6 packets of the all-natural fat burner for all low price of $20.
Wow.
To get yourself started so you can see how the product will work for you and help you.
Well, you know what? I think that's great because a lot of times people, Charles, really don't want to give you something to see if it's going to work with you. So to have you come on and to give some, have them have a starter pack, or they can call you and you'll give them a sample
Give them
to
a sample,
see
yes.
whatever. I mean, I think that's great. Charles, what you have to say?
Have a great taste. I love vanilla, so to me, it's almost have a taste like a vanilla walnut.
Yes.
And I kind of like that taste, and I love the product. And if anybody need a product, it's me. Like
Yes,
I know
sir.
a lot of people that I know, person friend with. We need these type of product to help us, cause like our special guest said this morning that this is a study. This is I would say this is a ministry that God gave him for the want to help people
That's it.
with their body. And this is what this show is all about, knocking down walls for brothers like him who a lot of people don't know anything about, and to those that are listening and to those that viewing us, a lot of people all over the country, I would like for him to tell our listening or the interviewing us, because I understand a lot of people that in all different states, they look at the show on YouTube and Facebook. So you want to tell them how they can get your product? Don't care if they in Atlanta, New York.
Well, thank you, Mr. Charles. Yes, if you go to the website www.results, it's spelled REZULTZ.net. Once again, that's www.results.REZULTZ.net. And Mr. Charles, right now on live radio, I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to give you a month's supply of the all-natural fat burner and protein. And then I'm going to come back a month later on your show, and we're going to let the audience know just how this stuff works. Now, once again, it's not a magic pill, but it is designed to work. We had a little situation. I'm from Lafayette, Louisiana, and a couple of months ago, you know, we had experienced a flood over in Lafayette and Baton Rouge area.
Right.
And my in-laws, they were victims of losing their home, and they end up staying with us. And my mother-in-law, she's also suffering with diabetes and low high blood pressure. So I started making her smoothies every morning. She didn't know what I was doing, my protein and stuff. Within about a month's time, her nurse come back, checked her, and she just couldn't. She was so amazed at her numbers and things. And she asked what was going on. And she told her, say that my son-in-law, he's serving me his products. And she lost 13 pounds. And she's not one that exercises because she moves around on a walker. But I'm saying that regardless if you don't do nothing else but use the product, it works.
Wow. What I would like to say about that is that knowledge is power. Sister BJ, one of our listeners that's listening, she won't be able to call in, but she sent me a text. And Tim, she wanted me to ask you, she said because of some supplements I imagine that she's used, she wants to know, do it work like a laxative?
Well, in the fat burner, they have some stuff called choline and inositol, okay? The inositol is what they put in baby formula to make sure the baby is being flushed out. Yes, it will actually act as a detox for your liver. It will keep your liver clean. So the first couple of days of going, it's going to make you go to the bathroom a little bit, but it's going to clean that liver out, because a lot of time, what we don't realize, our liver is our filter, just like a filter on a vehicle. It filters all the stuff out of the oil. Well, it's the same thing with our bodies. The liver filters all in toxins and things, and mainly the fats. And what happens is it's supposed to dump it over. Your gallbladder secretes gall, a bile, that breaks up the fat and pass it through to the intestines to be flushed out. A lot of times our liver will start retaining fat, and it start getting us bogged down. We start feeling tired and things of that nature. It's because that liver is not functioning properly. And that's what that choline and inositol is one of the ingredients, will help detox that liver and give you energy. And yes, it will help.
Wow. BJ, I'm sure that you're glad to hear that. Right now, we need to go to our commercial break. You are listening to the New Orleans Talk Network, a Church Without Walls Foundation, hosted by Reverend D. Dunn and Charles Stewart. And we're so happy to have our special guest, Mr. Timothy Garrett, who is a fitness trainer, and he's also CEO of Mobile Muscle and Result Supplements. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Timothy Garrett. Are you having problems with burning fat, boosting your energy levels, or feeling good about yourself? Results can do that for you. It's not a magic pill, but with a good nutrition plan and exercise regimen, it will help. So what are you waiting for? Order your bottle of Results today. And remember, no promises, just results.
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business. New morning show alert! New morning show alert! The Warren Ballantyne Show airs daily from 9 to 11 a.m. Central Time, bringing you the news you need to know. The Warren Ballantyne Show, now on the New Orleans Talk Network.
This is Captain Black.
This is Brother Al Mims. Join us for our new show,
The Hostages That Fight Back. Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Central.
We are all hostages to something.
But it's up to us.
Find the courage to fight back and make the change.
So tune in to become the change you want to see in the world here on New Orleans Talk Network.
Brothers and sisters! Brothers and sisters! I don't know what this world is coming to.
Happy Merry Mondays. It's your girl, Mary J. I want you to tune in with me to Real Talk with Mary J on New Orleans Talk Network every Monday morning at 10 a.m. Then follow me to blogtalkradio.com/Real Talk with Mary J at 10 p.m. It's going to be a Merry Monday every Monday at 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. You've just tuned into New Orleans Talk Network.
What's up, New Orleans? Listen, this your man Fred, host of your #1 sports talk show down here in New Orleans. Yeah, I said it. FanView, where real fans talk about real sports. Join me, Bank Boy Recite, your people's man B, and Madman the Big Fan as we talk about all the latest sports topic going down here around the country. Again, FanView, where real fans talk about real sports.
To hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
You answer
Yeah,
on
just
that.
ask you.
We're back. You are listening to the New Orleans Talk Network, a church without walls, hosted by Reverend D. Dunn and Charles Stewart. And today we're so happy to have a special guest, Mr. Timothy Garrett. He's a fitness trainer. He's also the CEO of Mobile Muscle and Results Supplements. We have some of our listening audience that cannot call in, but they're texting us, Charles, and they have some questions for Mr. Garrett. One of the things they wanted to know, Mr. Garrett, give your website again.
Okay, that website once again is www.results, is spelled REZULTZ.net. Once again, www.results.net.
One other thing I want to ask Mr. Garrett, since we're on the air, and in our churches, because I know at my church, we deal with a lot of ailments of people dealing with things like cancer, diabetes, high blood pressure. Some of them have had strokes or whatever. And I feel in my heart that a lot of this can be done away with.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what I'm talking about is preventative
Mm-hmm.
before you get to that point,
Yes.
because that's where I had to be. I had to make sure I was very active. You know, people say, well, you know, you try to stay too young. Well, if you don't do it before it gets to that point, now you have a problem once your blood pressure goes
Mm-hmm.
up, and you know your body get overweight, you get lazy, you don't
Mm-hmm.
want to get up and walk. So what I want to ask, because when I met you some years ago, you came in and trained some kids. So what I want to ask, is it possible that to some of our listening audiences, that maybe you would go and train some of the people in their churches, uh, and show them, you know, how to eat better, what exercises to do, and things of that nature.
Yeah, well, Pastor Dunn, yes, that would be my pleasure and honor to do things of that nature because years ago, when I kind of started doing all this stuff, and I was just so excited. It's like a person when they get saved, they just want to tell everybody. And the information I was coming across and studying, especially when I went to school to become a certified nutrition counselor, personal trainer, because I hold 7 different certifications in sports nutrition, just everyday nutrition and things of that nature, to be able to better help my public and people I'm dealing with. Yes, I would love to bring that information out there and show up at a lot of churches because, like you say, most of our members in our churches, we are suffering with so many different health issues, and we're out there trying to seek the information and figure out what's going on and how to combat some of these things. Well, to make it real short, is that we're living in a chemical-based society. Like I said, once again, they put a lot of chemicals in our food to make them last and to speed up the process. It's like, you know, one time we used to have free-range chickens. Now chickens are grown indoors, you know, with a big lamp to speed the process up because, once again, the powers that be saying we are overpopulated, so it's a demand that we constantly keep producing. So we had to speed up production, and that even meant that now we have GMOs, things that are genetically modified. We don't grow stuff outside hardly anymore, just to speed that process up. So that's what's causing us a lot of health issues with all this chemical-based stuff. So now we see people are starting to go back to organic, and organic is just mean without chemicals. You're doing it yourself, or you're going to the different farmer markets where you have these guys who are actually growing and not tainting their vegetables and their fruits and also their chicken and things of that nature. So this is where we see things are going back to the natural basis, and this is why I created my products from all just herbal natural supplements as also the natural protein to be able to help you, not hurt you, not to speed up any process. And once again, to make anyone understand, you didn't gain weight overnight, you will not lose weight overnight. It's
I
a
want
process.
to ask you a question though, because you know, being in the mission field, I deal with so many people that look like after Katrina. Some people say it's stress, but some people say that, you know, they show us the food that we're eating
Yes.
that's causing so much cancer. It's just overwhelming to me. I mean, it's like every week we get a call here, there, you know, whatever. So I guess my question to you is, do that have a lot to do with what they're putting in the foods, as you were saying, to allow these chickens to grow faster and things of that nature?
Yes, that is the problem. That's what's going on. I can remember years ago, this probably was a good, I want to say maybe 20, 25 years ago, I was watching this report on CNN, and it was talking about this deadly pesticide that they were using
Right.
to actually kill an insect to control their crops. And they had a question was, they're saying, okay, well, how would this affect humans? And it was like, well, you know, you wouldn't have no problems right off, but maybe, possibly, you might
Wow.
experience something 30 or 40
Wow.
years. Well,
Wow.
let's fast forward to then and fast forward backwards. 30 years later, now we seeing such a high rate in cancer, not just in the African American community, from breast cancer, ovarian cancer, prostate cancer, cervical cancers, just lung cancer and things of that nature because of all the chemicals that's in our foods, and we're not realizing it. And here's the thing that's just so ironic to me: the food that is cheap, you could pay for that. The stuff that is healthy costs you an arm and a leg.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
And I had most people always saying, well, it gets so expensive. For me, and just Tim personally, if I can't invest in my health, what else I'm going to invest in?
Yes.
Because if I'm not here, then what good I'm to anyone, to my family, to my friends, to just, the Heavenly Father about doing whatever my mission is. So you should want to take care of your health. I'll always tell people, health is wealth.
Right. Charles, you had someone that text you and ask a question about?
Yeah, one of our great listener, Sheila from Kenner, and she wanted to know. Actually, she's saying that she can't call in, but she have a friend that have a heart condition, and she want to know is your product is something that a friend could use, and also she wanted to know what would you recommend for her friend.
Okay. Well, yes, I would recommend definitely using the all-natural fat burner, because it's not just a fat burner. It's a weight management. It has a lot of health products to it, properties that will help. Also, the all-natural protein, because as we was talking off air, Mr. Charles, what most Americans do is they sporadically eat. They don't develop a process of portion control meals throughout the day. You should at least eat a minimum of 4 with a maximum of 5 meals. And the meal could just be, like you were sharing with me, a piece of fruit. Because the more you got your digestive system working, that's the more your metabolism going to work. And for me to suggest to her, I would tell her, go all organic. Yes, it's going to be costly, but it's an investment for her to live longer on this earth. That's just my take. And when people ask me that, I say, yes, you should want to make your health as an investment, because then you are being able to be utilized whatever your calling is and whatever your walk is in your journey by taking care of your health. And yes, she most definitely can use my products. I would start with making sure I'm eating organic and exercising. And exercising, excuse me, Pastor Dunn, could just be a walking in a park. Get out, just movement. Because the way this planet is designed off of movement. This is why our Earth constantly spins and rotates around the sun. Even when we don't feel like we're moving, we are moving.
Right. I want to ask a question about this, because a lot of black women deal with water issues. What I mean, their feet swell, they hold too much fluid in their bodies, which causes them to hurt in the joints, arthritis, and things of that nature. So natural stuff will move the fluid to me, as opposed to the fluid pill, because if you would read some of the side effects of the medication, you would find out that fluid pills actually messes with your heart.
Yes.
And I'm not a doctor, y'all, so don't take me on this, but it will mess with your heart. So naturally, can you give us a little heads up about naturally, how can we move some of the fluid? I know you talked about walking, which is one of the greater ways of moving fluid.
Well, one perfect way is to drink water. The more water you consume, the more water comes out. And see, most of us, we spend time drinking things that has flavor, a lot of artificial flavors and things with, artificial sweeteners, which is also been clinically shown that causes cancer, like all your little sugar substitutes. And so, and things of that will have an adverse effect on your health. But yes, you can start with just water that will control your pH level. And yes, once a month, that time of month, yes, a woman gains a little bit more water, but that soon as that time period passes will subside. But understand this too, when we take in a lot of carbohydrates, okay, carbs retain water, your carbohydrates, depending on, like I say, especially if we're eating a lot of white carbs, those carbs like your rice, your pasta, things of that nature, they will hold more water. Because as a bodybuilder, when we are trying to get ready for that last week of the contest, we're trying to expel as much water out of our system as possible. So we'll change our eating. We won't even take anything in like rice and pasta, things that are starchy based. And so that I would suggest that too for a female to watch the starchy type products and foods that they're eating. And like I say, my product is one great way also to expel water and keep it going and drink water. So many of us don't like to drink water.
Could I may have to be an agent for you
Okay?
because I just got another text they can't call in, but
Yes.
they want to know, can you come to their church? So what I would suggest
Okay.
to you, to give out a phone number how they can reach you. They want you to come to their church
Yes.
and explain your product.
Okay. Well, that number is area code 337. The number is 962-5459. Once again, that's area code 337. The number is 962-5459. And that's my business number. You could call at any time. It doesn't matter. If I don't answer, please just leave a message. I'll return the phone call right away. But yes, my gift is to be able to get the message out. That was my whole mission about when I started even into exercising years ago, was to educate people. And as like Pastor Dunn said, you know, knowledge is power. It is power. Then you can understand that once you get the knowledge and the power, then your health will get where it should be.
Want to say to the listening audience also, if for some reason you can't get a hold of him, you can call area code 504-341-8255, or you can contact the Reverend Don or myself. We'll make sure that you get that information, but give your number out again in case they missed it, because some of these people at work.
Yes. Once again, that number is area code 337-962-5459. That's 337-962-5459. Or you could go directly to the website at www.results.net. And you could scroll over to the comment box, leave your comment. I will answer your comments, case may be, if you would like me to show up and do a little seminar about education of foods, exercise, and how things are done in the fitness world. Yes, I'll be more than happy to do that.
Well, for our listening audience that's looking at us live on Facebook, Mr. Garrett have said that he would love to give you a sample, so you can go and look at us live on Facebook, and that information is definitely on there.
Also, they just got another text saying
Okay.
they need to know your name.
My name is Timothy Garrett. Actually, I'm a native New Orleans. I grew up in the Ninth Ward, the Desire Housing Project area. Yes, I graduated from George Washington Carver.
Okay.
And one more thing, I'm 52 years old.
Okay. Yeah, Reverend Don. Okay, we got one segment left, so I guess I would like for us to close it out. Where do we go from here since the election over with? And we had a little chat with our guest, and we'd like for him to share that comment with us. So,
Yeah, today we were going to talk about. We were actually going to talk about wait and see. Now that the election is over, you know, we had a lot of people that was a little angry about Trump being elected president. But Mr. Garrett, you made a very vivid point. Would you talk about that? You said that it could not be all bad.
Well, my thing is that, you know, as I was growing up, my mom would always tell me, you know, you don't relinquish your power. You don't give someone your power. Because if we are true believers in the Heavenly Father, then we know who is really in control. We sometimes miss that point, and that get washed out by us listening to our news, sources and giving us information, and we get caught up in all that. But for me, the thing about it, to every action, there's definitely a reaction. And like I say, maybe Trump is just what we need for us to get back to doing community-based stuff. Myself, I'm a product that came up in the 60s, and I remember, like, you know, for you, Pastor Dunn and Mr. Charles, y'all were freedom fighters. Y'all marched, and y'all not only marched and protest, y'all boycotted.
right.
And people have to realize their power, especially their economic power, far as that is concerned. And I'm one for, yes, let's get back and start doing community service things. Because for me, I never understood that we have so many churches in one little square to 12 miles radius that we can't come together and answer some of the issues that take place in our communities, like drugs and poverty, and young men being murdered and killed. Well, why is that happening? It wasn't so prevalent when I was coming up, and it just seemed like it has exasperated itself. It just tripled and just gone to proportions that are so epic that now we need to really start gauging things back and stop looking for people to do things for you that you can do for yourself. Right. It's just like when I teach my clients about exercise. There's no magic pill, okay? Right. Yeah, my supplements work, but it's not magic. Right. There's no such thing as magic. It requires work, just like your grandfather and grandmother's parents and yourself, that you taught your kids about hard work. If you get out and go after things, you can achieve them. Right. But we is such a society of instantaneous stuff. It's like adding water and stir. Voila, here we go. That's why we have fast food. No, it's not such thing as fast. It's a process.
What about we give away our wealth? I mean, I think the African American community spend more money on material things than any group that it is.
Yes.
What is your comment on that?
Yes, most definitely, because we have economic power. The things that we're buying from these folks, we're keeping them rich. And this is nothing against Michael Jordan at all. I had a young man ask me, he said, well, Mr. Tim, how come you don't have no Jordans? I said, at one time I used to wear Jordans. I said, but then I thought about it. I said, Michael is a billionaire. Well, Mr. Gary would like to be a billionaire. You know what? Mr. Gary would like to have his own tennis.
Yeah.
So I challenged him. I say, won't you develop and design your own tennis? Just like I develop and design my own products. Right. There are a lot of supplements out on the market by these big companies. Mm-hmm. But here, Mr. Garrett, out of nowhere, from New Orleans, Desire Projects, came out with his own supplement.
Yeah.
And Mr. Garrett, one thing I was always amazed with is the discipline in bodybuilding, and that's something that I find out spiritually.
Yes, ma'am.
People never understood that part of it, because to build your body the way it is with the muscles and all of that takes discipline. I remember a friend of ours, we went and we saw you compete. And we were so elated. I know we don't have but a minute left, but let me get this in. We were so elated because the women looked like like Barbie dolls. Mm-hmm. They were so molded. But one thing you said, well, Miss D, but it takes discipline.
Yes.
And I realized that in my own life, spiritually, physically, whatever, it takes discipline to do what you do. I mean, you throwing your age out there. Look, I'm 63. I got 10, 11 years older than you. But the issue behind all of that, it takes discipline. We're so happy. Today we had Mr. Timothy Garrett with us, sharing, a fitness trainer. He's also a CEO of Mobile Muscles and Result Supplements. We were streaming live. You can look at us on YouTube, get his information, give him a call. Certainly, he will be back because he's openly given Charles this challenge on the radio.
That's right.
So he's also willing to also give you all some free samples. So you can go to his website, or you can call him. The number will be on our web page. Well, this kind of bring us to a close today. And Charles always said, boy, this hour goes by so fast. So what you have to say, Charles?
Well, we thank our special guest, Timothy, and your product is delicious. And I challenge everybody to try this product. And y'all look at me now, how I look today. Hopefully 30 months from now, I'll be 30 pounds lighter. But anyway, we thank all our listening audience. We thank everyone. God bless you, and He keep you. And hope that we have Mr. Garrett on our show anytime he's in town. Stop by the studio and holler, because you're very interested. We enjoy our hour with you. And again, Reverend Dunn, this is the fastest hour on the radio every Monday. So we love you. We love you, love you, love you. Thanks to all the listening. And remember, it's no such thing as being half dead. If you're dead, you're dead.
God bless you to our listening audience. We will, you can listen to us all week long, but we're also looking forward to hearing from you on next week. God bless.
Amen.
Hi, I'm Timothy Garrett. Are you having problems with burning fat, boosting your energy levels, or feeling good about yourself? Results can do that for you. It's not a magic pill, but with a good nutrition plan and exercise regimen, it will help. So what are you waiting for? Order your bottle of results today. And remember, no promises, just results.